Welcome back into Game Night. Got a special guest today, Sean Graham, the American University track and cross country coach. Sean, thanks for hopping in and doing this. I appreciate it.
I appreciate having us here. This is great.
Yeah, let's talk a little track. Obviously, you guys are going into a meet this week, but before we get to that, you know, a lot of programs have dealt with COVID over the last year and a half, 2 years, and I was kind of curious how COVID impacted your program.
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, I think everybody will say that without a doubt. It was a challenge. We had some consistency issues, and when we could have practice, when we couldn't have practice. I like that we were as safe as we were, just in terms of getting things done, but there's a lot of teams that are doing a lot more than we were. So some consistency things made things a little bit difficult, but we're on our way out of it now, thankfully, and seeing some good results.
Yeah, you do have races on the calendar now. You finished 3 meets so far.
Yep.
Just kind of recap how the team has done so far after the 3 meets.
Honestly, in the best possible way, up to expectation, even a little beyond it. We're a young team without a doubt, and the meets that we've gone to are challenging. You know, I wanted to make sure that they saw the level of competition that we're going to see at the championship portion of the season, and the courses that we're going to run on. So some very challenging early season meets, and we did the things that we needed to do to be prepared for now what's coming the next couple of weeks.
Speaking of the next couple of weeks, this week, Friday, you're heading to New York, my old neck of the woods, but you're heading to the Bronx. You've gone on record by saying that this event is historic. What makes it so special for you?
Right, the IC4A championships, ECAC championships, were the kind of the originals for cross country and track, even pre-NCAA time. So this meet used to be at the end of the season. This is the first year that they're doing it in the middle of the season, and it's at one of the more historic courses as well, Van Cortlandt Park in the Bronx. So a lot of the top teams in the Northeast and kind of the Central Seaboard are going to be there, and it's just a cool place with a lot of great teams, so it should be fun.
And then, yeah, a little under 3 weeks from now, you'll begin your conference meet. How do you feel about your team heading in, and how do you prepare them for this?
Actually feeling very good. The men's team in particular is starting to be in a position where I think we can shake things up. The women's team developing really, really well. So I think the combination of our kind of veteran athletes coming in with the newcomers is going to do some pretty good damage. And then in preparation, we've sort of already done it. You know, honestly, a lot of the work that a cross-country athlete has to do to be successful at the end of the season is done in the summer, and in those first parts of the fall. And I hope it's already done, but they look good, and they're running significantly faster than they ever have already, which is a very good sign. So I hate the haze in the barn saying, but we're close to putting hay in the barn.
Yeah. How would you describe, if you could describe your team in one word, how would you do it and why?
Determined. And I think because of the adversity that we've seen, and because of the responsibility that a lot of these athletes have to take on just to make sure we're a successful program. It's one where we didn't have a lot of senior leadership in the previous years, and then those that are now seniors have missed basically 2 years of that development cycle being gone for COVID. So they've kind of had to jump into this level of leadership and confidence, and they're doing it really, really well. Not getting the past kind of structure that one would usually get. So it is a determined team that is doing things that typically takes a really long time to develop into, and they've done it in a very short period of time.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you one more about the conference meet you have coming up in a couple of weeks. How much of an advantage, you look at racing, and a lot of it has to do with familiarity with the track, whether it's racing, horse racing, Formula One. You guys have been here earlier this year. How much of an advantage, or how much can you use that as an advantage?
I think for both of these courses, or the conference meet and then the regional meet as well, it's going to be a pretty big advantage just to know how the course flows. You know, on a track itself, it's 400 meters, it's rubber, it's the same. But for cross country, there's a lot of different variation that can occur, and knowing when there's going to be challenges within that course and how you manage that kind of discomfort throughout the race. For a team or an athlete that hasn't been there, you can play some games and take some moves that you didn't think that you might know without having been there. So we did that for both of those. Our first meet was at the conference course, and the second meet was at the NCAA regional course. So hopefully it gives us an edge, but we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we're on top.